Hi everyone, welcome back. I'm Rhonda and today I'm going to share with you my recipe for hamburger buns. It's always nice to have hamburger buns on hand and today I'm going to show you my recipe. My recipe is pretty easy and quick, so let's get right to it. To start, we need 1 cup of warm water. And to that we're going to add 1 packet of yeast. It's about 2 1/4 teaspoons. We're going to add that to the water. And I have a little sugar here. This sugar is for the main recipe, but I always add a little bit of sugar just to help proof that yeast and get it going. All right, we're going to give that a quick stir. And we're just going to let that set for about 5 minutes until you see the active yeast starting to bubble up. While the yeast is proofing, I need 3 tablespoons of butter melted. And this is my homemade butter. I'm going to put it in a little saucepan. So I'm measuring about 3 tablespoons. 3 tablespoons of butter. Get this melted. Now that the yeast is proofed and you can see all the foam on the top, the bubbles, it's ready to go on with the next step. I have my melted butter here and it's ready to go also. Now that the butter has melted, we're going to add 1 egg to our mixer. And if you don't have a mixer, you can just add it to a bowl. I'm going to be using my mixer with the dough hook today, but this can be done by hand as well. So 1 egg, and to the egg, we're going to add the melted butter. I'm going to whisk that together so that it doesn't cook that egg. All right, to the egg and the butter, we're adding 3 tablespoons of just regular white sugar. Now you can substitute this for honey or maple syrup or raw sugar, whatever you want. All right, I'm also adding 1.25 teaspoons of salt. 1.25 teaspoons, that was a 1/2 teaspoon. Measuring spoon. And mix that all together. So that's what that looks like when it's mixed together. Okay, next we're going to add the yeast mixture. We're going to pour that right in. The last ingredient is going to be all-purpose flour. You're going to need about 3 1/2 cups. It's going to be a stickier dough, so you don't want to overdo the flour. So if you think your dough is going to be sticky and you want to add more flour, just hold off a little bit, and I'll show you what it looks like here. So I'm going to start with 3 cups of flour. I'm going to put my dough hook on, and then I will probably add that 1/2 cup once it's kind of all formed together. So you just want to mix this on low for about 3 to 5 minutes. Okay, it has been a little bit and the dough has all come together real nicely. You can tell that it's still very sticky, but that's okay. We want to keep it kind of a sticky dough. Now that the dough is done, I'm gonna take some flour. I'm gonna flour my hands because it is sticky, and I'm gonna take it all off here. And I'm actually gonna flour my work surface just a little bit. Take that off. And then, using a spatula, it works good just to get the sides down. Pull it right out. There we go. And here is the beautiful dough. I'm gonna put it on my workstation here a minute. We don't need to work it a lot because I let the mixer do most of the kneading. I'm gonna form it into a nice round ball, just like this. It should be nice and smooth. And let me grab my bowl. And I've already placed some oil in here. You can use like avocado oil or olive oil. Grease your bowl real well. Take our dough and place it, like I always place it upside down. or top side down, and then I roll it around in the oil, just like this, to coat all the sides. So it should look like that, and then place a tea towel over it and let this sit in a warm place till it's doubled in size. So now this is the first batch that I made this morning, and I'm gonna pour this out onto my floured surface. Now the fun begins. We're just gonna pat this a little bit here. I'm gonna add just a little bit of flour to the top, and we're gonna kind of roll this into a rectangle. We're gonna keep it quite thick though, kind of in a 5-inch this way by 10-inch rectangle. All right, so that looks good. We're gonna keep it about a 1/2 inch thick, and this is plenty thick. Now we're gonna divide this up into 8 pieces. So I'm gonna divide it in half. And then I take each half and I divide it in half. And then I take each half again and divide it in half. And you could probably weigh these out if you wanted to be real accurate, but I just eyeball it. So now I have 8 pieces all together. I have a parchment paper lined cookie sheet. Let me show you what it's like. So you have the bottom is kind of the ugly side, and so I'm going to take the edges and tuck them under, right? And I use my thumb just to kind of form it. I don't know why, but that's how I do it. And then we have a little ball, and take your palm and just press it down. And you should have a pretty round bun. If not, you know, it'll look homemade if it's not round, you know. So, all right, so I'm gonna finish all of these. Okay, all 8 of them have been formed into their circles the best to my ability. I'm gonna take a tea towel and just drape over them, and these are gonna sit in a warm location for another hour until they're about doubled in size again. All right, our Hamburger buns have about doubled in size, and they're ready to get baked. I have the oven preheating at 350. All right, we're gonna get these ready for the oven. Let me set this aside just a second. In this bowl, I have about a tablespoon of milk. And to that milk, I'm going to add 1 egg. We'll whisk this together. So now I'm gonna brush each of the buns with the egg milk mixture. This is gonna give the tops of the buns that beautiful golden color. Got them all coated with the egg mixture, and now I'm going to top them off with some sesame seeds. This is completely optional. I just really like putting sesame seeds on the top of my buns because it just sets it off and makes it look like a real hamburger bun. Okay, these are ready to go into my 350-degree oven for about 15-17 minutes. When they're golden brown, we'll take them out. They're warm. The bottoms are all brown and the tops are as well. So we're gonna let these cool completely, and then once they're all cool, I'll take them off and we can slice them, and that way they are ready to be eaten with your hamburger or with whatever you're using them for. So the Hamburger buns have turned out beautifully. This is what they look like when they are cut. And tonight we are having a tuna fish burger. So that's the filling that I've made, and I'm gonna place it in here and we're gonna put them in the oven. I have to get the rest of these cut. This is the recipe for a very delicious Hamburger bun. Thanks for watching.